DeMar DeRozan, you know what he does for us, Chill? Because you asked. I'll tell you what DeMar DeRozan does for us.
Yep.
He makes us instant favorites in the West.
Whoa!
Instant favorites in the West. That's what DeMar. Tuck your chain. Debo's coming.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there. Instant favorites. When you say favorites, Ox, you mean like, yo, we coming out the Western Conference in the NBA Finals next June.
Oh, well,
the Kings
I'm not saying we coming out. I'm saying we're the favorites to come out.
Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. So that makes you guys the favorites that come out of the West. What does DeMar DeRozan bring to you dudes to push you over the top? To make
I told you that mid-range scoring, the ISO scoring, he like that ISO scoring, the mid-range. What he brings us what we didn't have.
Right.
That's what we didn't have. That's what we needed. You know what I'm saying? And now we got it. Okay, go ahead.
Speaking of bringing something, I don't know, but the boogeyman is in the West now. You know who the boogeyman is for DeMar DeRozan, right?
Who?
Right down south.
The Lakers.
I just want to put that out there.
Come on. That was 10 years ago. We keep that Lakers pack lit.
Yes, you do. And last I checked, I don't know what it is about Sabonis, but when he see Anthony Davis, he's ready to get it on when he sees.
There's only one team we're scared of. Too.
I don't know what that's about. And I think that they finished. But I think they finished. To be honest, I don't. Until Bi and Zion are gone, I'm scared of them. We don't want to play the Timberwolves, and we're scared of the Pelicans. I respect OKC. I respect the Mavericks. Right. I respect all the teams in the West. But I'm not gonna be humble just because what? For what? I gotta tell the truth. Debo's coming. I think
you know what the problem is, Chill. Everybody's scared. They're scared. You know how people be quiet, they look around, and then their first instinct is just to talk mess and bring up the past and all that. Oh, it's a new day.
Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, Chill. Are you scared, Chill?
Not at all.
All right, you should be because Debo's coming.
All. Yeah, not at all. Ron, I'm just saying, man. The value that DeMar DeRozan brings to this crew is undeniable. You can't, 24 game, don't get me wrong, somebody got to lead a bad team in scoring. Somebody got to lead a bad team in assists. Somebody got to lead a bad team in rebound. All right, I get all of that. But DeMar DeRozan has always been a bucket getter, no matter where he's been. Whether he was in Toronto, whether he was in San Antonio, whether he was in Chicago, he's always been a bucket getter. And even at his advanced age, he can still score. And he can score in a variety of ways. He's never really been that much of a long ball shooter. And I'm thinking about how he fits into Sacramento. The fact that they play as fast as they do, not only the fact that they play as fast as they do, the isolation scorer that he is, and how Mike Brown will draw up stuff for him. I'm just thinking about when you're playing against teams where they do a lot of hunting, especially in the Western Conference. Guys get hunted. We saw what the Boston Celtics did with Luka. And I'm not saying that DeMar DeRozan is as bad a defender as Luka. No, I'm not saying that at all. But the Golden State Warriors, the Lakers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they do a great job in hunting mismatches. And DeMar DeRozan, who has not really been that much of a defender in the past, not just the Lakers, the Western Conference, they do a great job offensively in hunting guys. I'm worried about that with Sacramento in particular, because a guy like him, who's that integral in what you guys are doing offensively, he's going to be on the floor defensively. And we can't keep just trading buckets with guys. We got to slow guys down. And if teams are going to go after him on a consistent basis, I worry about what that's going to look like.
Don't forget, we did it without giving up Kevin Huerter. We got all of our shooting. We got our shooting. We got Kevin. We got Malik. We got Keegan. We got shooters. Trey Lyles too. Shout out all our shooters.
But for everybody out there, this was a 3-team trade. Yes, the Kings did give up Chris Duarte and they gave up Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes went to the Spurs. So I thought that was a pretty good pickup for the Spurs.
Shout out Harrison Barnes.
Kings obviously got DeMar DeRozan, and then the Bulls received Chris Duarte and 2 first-round picks. That was the official trade. It was, I think we're going to start seeing, we have seen a lot of signing trades just due to the new dynamic of the NBA. So that's how it will move on going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. But Mars and Penn, I want to hear from you guys on this trade. Penn, I know you have spent a lot of time watching DeMar DeRozan. You've probably watched DeMar DeRozan more than everybody, not only on the panel right now, but in the chat with you being a Toronto guy. Can you let me know just how does this work out? And does he elevate the Kings?
So many thoughts. First of all, I mean, Ox, you're probably one of my favorite people here, but favorites is crazy.
That's not that crazy. I mean,
I think it's pretty crazy. I'm just saying that. I mean, and second, you know, to the point about Mars and like, yo, like DeMar's been bad at defense since before Mars was born.
facts.
So Mars definitely didn't do that. I promise you. DeMar's never been a great defender. But I will tell you this: anchoring bias is real. When people get introduced to a prospect, they get introduced to a player, he develops a reputation, burns out in the playoffs a couple times. People assume that's who he is. And then when he goes to San Antonio and he goes to Chicago and he evolves his game, people don't pay attention because they're not watching him anymore. He's not making deep playoff runs. So I want to say, like, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that this is a perfect fit for the Kings. It's not a perfect fit for the Kings. He's a great player. He's a really good player. So defensively, yeah, you're being nice saying he's not a bad defender. He is a bad defender. He's very limited. He's limited in the team scheme. He's limited versatility wise. He cannot guard up too much. We watched it time and time again in Toronto. This is a part of his game that has not evolved very much. The part of his game that has evolved a lot since his days in Toronto is his playmaking and overall his efficiency as a player, like where he gets a shot, how he gets a shot, what types of shots he turns down, what types of shots he turns up. And also last year was one of his lowest usage years, which is important too when you're playing a game, when you're playing off of two guys. Because I think a lot of people might be thinking DeMar's been the man on a lot of bad teams now. He's coming on to a team where he's not the first option. That's De'Aaron Fox's team. That's maybe going to go through Sabonis. How's he playing off those guys? Is he going to be comfortable? Well, yeah. I mean, he played off of other guys before. He's played off of Levine now. He's played off of guys. So, you know, I think that this is a good situation. And I'll tell you, like, just again, watching DeMar since Compton. Shit. I've been a fan of this guy since he was 15 years old. He was one of my favorite players in high school. I loved him. I drafted him to the Toronto Raptors in 2K year after year after year. And then he finally became a Raptor. I was so happy. He did not become the player that I thought he would be in high school. Very different type of player. But man, I think we owe We the North to this dude. Best culture setter, best teammate ever. The minute he got to the Chicago Bulls, he wanted all his young teammates. He wanted their digits. He wanted them to feel like connected. He's showing up to Ayo Dosunmu's like jersey. He just does a really solid dude. And you consider everything he's been through with his parents, everything where he comes from, all the depression stuff that he's talked about. He's just a realist dude. I tell you right now, when DeMar left, culture left Toronto. A lot of, everything you heard about the Raptors being dysfunctional, all that stuff with Fred VanVleet, all that stuff, selfishness, that did not happen with DeMar DeRozan. He built this thing up. He is a very loyal dude. I think he's going to be great for the young players. I hope that they have a good idea of how to fit him in basketball-wise. Defensively, I am concerned. I am concerned about the Kings who did not shore up their perimeter defense. Keon Ellis is a revelation. Became one of my favorite signings last year. Y'all found a gem. I love that guy. But I'm curious about, because Harrison Barnes is not a bad defender. Harrison Barnes is a very good team defender, very smart guy.
Very good, very good.
And you're losing that and you're replacing it with more offense. And there's only one basketball.
That's the thing I'm worried about. That part right there.
We got, no, go ahead, Chill. Go ahead.
That's the part I'm worried about, Ox. And you've been an advocate of this, particularly with the Milwaukee Bucks when they handed over Drew Holiday. The fact that what you did was you traded all of that defense for offense. You didn't get any of that defense back. Zero.
This ain't the same thing as that, Chill. This is way different than that. Because first of all, DeMar DeRozan is a better defender than Damian Lillard, and Harrison Barnes is not close to the defender of Drew Holiday. Although Harrison Barnes, I value Harrison Barnes. Like I really like Harrison Barnes off the court, on the court. I like everything about Harrison Barnes. I have nothing negative to say about him. But it was time for him to go. And as far as our defense goes, De'Aaron Fox is a hell of a perimeter defender. Keon Ellis is a hell of a perimeter defender. Keegan Murray is a hell of a defender. Even Kevin Huerter is good on defense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. Once again, our problem is at the rim. Our problem is Domantas Sabonis not being a great rim defender.
Rim protector, sure.
Yeah, rim protector. So that's the issue for us. I don't think the issue is out there. Like we play defense. I've been saying this for 2 seasons.
So you feel like you got enough? So do you feel like you have enough guys? I mean, we've had this conversation before about being able to hide guys. Do you have enough guys? Do you feel like on the perimeter to protect DeMar DeRozan? That's the $1 million question.
I'm not of that mindset. I'm not thinking about protecting DeMar DeRozan.
The reason why is
I'm like DeMar, play ball.
And we're going to score 150.
That's the problem.
We'll score 170.
Okay, and you could, but here's the problem: if you're going to give up 150, you're going to give up 155.
DeMar DeRozan is not the reason we're going to give up 150.
Mike Brown is an ox. We're talking about getting to the rim. It's not like they're dumping the ball down and you're going to play against Shaq every trip. No, that's not the issue. Right. The problem is that you do have a bunch of guys, particularly in the Western Conference, that are damn good on the perimeter. And they got to get to the rim. Okay, I know your issue is at the rim, but getting around and getting to the rim, we got to get guys who can slow guys down. And the point that you just brought up, De'Aaron Fox, Ellis, guys like that who can protect DeMar DeRozan, because again, they're going to go after him. 100% they're going to go after him. I can appreciate your logic about him being Debo on offense because he does bully guys. But 100% in the Western Conference, they, in terms of offense, schemes, they hunt guys, and they hunt guys on the regular. And a guy like DeMar DeRozan, who's been known not to be that much of a defender and that can be a hole, they will go after him. So that's a situation that Mike Brown, who's a very good defensive mind, he's going to have to fix that.
I mean, the teams, to me, it looks like teams take what you give them. If we don't give it to them, they're not going to take it. You know what I mean? So that's how I'll look at it. And it's not like, I mean, who do we got? Who do we got that's going to really pick on DeMar? That we're going to let pick on DeMar. Like, I'm not going to count Luka because he's going to pick on anybody. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him.
Shea.
You know, Shea. I like Shea. Trust me, Shea is an issue. Shea is a very big issue. But you know, that's a perfect example for that team right there. DeMar don't never have to go anywhere near Shea. You know what I'm saying? Like they got so many. Like if they got to guard J-Dub.
You got. I was about to say. I think J-Dub is.
I mean,
Keegan Murray is pretty much, in my opinion, like he is your only above neutral defender apart from Keon Ellis. Here's the problem, though. You're closing.
You got respect Devin Carter. Respect Devin Carter.
Yeah,
you got Devin Carter.
Devin Carter is injured.
He's but he's gonna be there this year. He's gonna be.
He will be here this year. But
is he closing on a team with your? Hold up.
We'll see how things
lineup, right?
Yeah, okay, we don't know yet.
Your score is 100.
If we don't know that, Ron, we don't know anything.
I doubt he'll close. I doubt
110 to 110. It's 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Your closing lineup, at minimum, includes 3 massive defensive liabilities. At minimum, possibly 4.
Okay, Fox is a liability.
He's not. He's far from that.
No,
I don't think that he is as great a defender as a lot of people think because of his on-ball pressure and because of his peskiness and because of his activity level. You're missing the other parts of where De'Aaron Fox
what's more important than on-ball pressure when we're talking about the last 5 minutes of the game?
Look, man, it's a team defense, screen navigation, rim defense, potentially getting cross-matched. There's a lot of things where I could say someone who is slight of build like De'Aaron Fox can be your weakest defender in a good defense, but he cannot be your 3rd best defender in a good defense.
What do you mean slight of build?
He is a very slight of build player. He's very skinny.
Keon Ellis is skinny too.
But Keon Ellis is bigger and stronger than De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion.
I agree.
He's stronger than De'Aaron Fox.
I think
I didn't see them bench press.
Picked up on the word liability. I wouldn't call De'Aaron Fox a liability.
Okay,
I can understand in situations.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
In certain situations, you're gonna. He's not Drew Holiday. He's not Derek White. Like he's not in the upper echelon of guards. You can call him a neutral defender. You can say he's like average, right? But he's not great, in my opinion. He's not great. Keegan Murray, last year, I was a little bit dubious. My boy covers the Kings. He messaged me. He's like, yo, Keegan really turned a corner defensively. I didn't believe him, but I looked into the tape. Keegan Murray really did he turned it defensively. Bigger athletes are always going to have that positional versatility angle where they're going to be able to guard multiple places. They're going to be guarding lower third of the floor, upper third of the floor. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want De'Aaron Fox guarding at the rim, but enough movement will put him out of position at the rim. You know what I mean? That's what I say defensive liability. Anytime you're small in the NBA, you're going to be somewhat of a liability. Unless you are a generational defender, you're going to be somewhat of a liability. And Domantas Sabonis is, in my opinion, a terrible defender. So him and Malik Monk. Now y'all heard me say I love Malik Monk. I put him in the third tier, whatever, and got into a lot of beef on that. And Ox, you backed me up and said Malik is nice. I don't think Malik Monk's a good defender. That's the only thing I throw against him. He's not a good defender. I'm really curious how Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan don't overlap a ton in terms of skill sets as playmakers, right? De'Aaron Fox a playmaker on ball. Malik Monk's a playmaker on ball. DeMar DeRozan playmaker on ball. Domantas Sabonis also needs the ball a lot, right?
Whoa, I want to make sure I'm following you here. Are we saying that Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox are on the same level? Is that what we? Is that
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it was Malik Monk not closing a lot of lineups for them last year.
Well, he is one of the better offensive players. I won't argue that. Sure.
One of the better players.
He's incredible.
Yeah, sure.
So what I'm saying is
obvious for him to close the line. Close the lineup. Sure, I can get with that.
Try to construct a closing lineup where you don't put one of your four best offensive players on the bench without becoming a turnstile defensively, and I'll hold my breath. Like, you don't have a Rudy Gobert back there to clean up all this mess that you're creating on the perimeter, right? Like, it's just about advantages, right? It's advantages. You got advantages galore. If I'm an opposing team, if I'm the OKC Thunder, I'm licking my chops right now. You don't got anybody that can guard any of my guys. Literally, not one guy.
Any of your guys, like, meaning who? Shea and J-Dub? That's all we're talking about.
It's also not just personnel. Like, Chet being able to extend the floor, Sabonis is going to be, he's going to get Valanciunas in terms of against the OKC.
It's the vertical.
Now it's a rebound.
We don't sit the monsters down.
2002.
I'm just saying that's how it will look when he's
if you field this Kings roster in 2005, I'm gonna pick you guys to like be Western Conference Finals straight up. 2005, this team, I just built a time machine, put them in 2005. This looks pretty good to me. This looks pretty good. You know, there's not a lot of stretch bigs in the league. I'm not going to be able to extend the floor up for Domantas Sabonis to really hunt him. He just gets to be in the post. You know, he's guarding in the post. But now you got teams where the big is literally launching from 27 feet, and you're going to have issues with a guy who's laterally compromised.
Okay,
and you don't have.
This is the thing. Like, what's the lineup with OKC that we're talking about? Is Chet the 5? Is Isaiah the 5? What are we doing here?
But by the way,
we're putting hypothetical lineups on the floor.
Okay.
I want to know what's the hypothetical lineup.
Let's put
because Mars, I'm having a difficult time, and I want y'all to keep going.
If we got Chet, if they got Chet on the floor, I'm fine at any point in the game. If Chet's on the floor with Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm 100% comfortable with Domantas and Trey or Domantas and Keegan. I'm not worried about Chet the way y'all act like I should be worried about Chet. Like, this is, I don't see.
You're not worried about him in what aspect? As an offensive player or overall? You're not worried about him?
I mean, just overall. Like, he's a really good basketball player. He's a hell of a basketball player, but we're not concerned with that. Like, if anytime they have Chet and Hartenstein on the floor together, they're getting getting ran off the floor.
Let me ask you a question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this, it's not us. It's them.
If I could gift you. I'm gonna give you.
And Caruso can't guard Malik. Caruso can't guard De'Aaron. Caruso can't guard DeMar. Caruso is not an issue for us. Caruso might be an issue for y'all.
We're talking about Ox.
Whoa.
We're talking
about
Malik Monk. What's going on right now?
Alex Caruso cannot guard Malik Monk
He might be the best perimeter on-ball defender in the game.
He might be the best on-ball perimeter in the game to get his ass cooked. That's who he'll be. I mean, just stop playing, bro. What? I mean, I'm scared of Alex Caruso. Fuck.
Okay. And why not? And the reason why I'm saying that
because we're talking about Malik and De'Aaron. He can't guard either one of them.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question, Ox. I'm gonna gift you the entire OKC roster. You could just take it and put it on the Sacramento Kings. Tell me, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander starting for the Sacramento Kings?
Yes. What?
Okay, great. Is Jalen Williams starting for the Sacramento Kings? Is J-Dub starting for y'all? The fact that you got to think about that.
Can he play the 4? Can he play the 4?
Well, bro, you play him at the 5-4-3.
No, he's not starting for you, bro.
Obviously,
he's not.
Okay.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. Calm down. He can start. He can start at the 4, and Keegan start at the 3. Sure, I can get with that.
Okay, great. Is Chet starting for y'all?
Yeah, if he can start at the 4, yeah, cool.
Okay. Would Isaiah Hartenstein start for y'all?
No.
Okay.
At the 5, and Domantas at the 4, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What are we doing?
What I'm trying to tell you is that if I melted both these rosters into one roster, who are your starting five? Are there 3 Thunder or there 3 Kings?
That's a good question. I don't really think that matters as far as like what we're talking about. But I can see where we could start De'Aaron, Shea, J-Dub, Chet, and Sabonis. I'm fine with that.
Damn, bringing DeMar off the bench. Damn.
Well, I mean, sure,
so Debo goes to the bench for like. I'm just trying to say, since a lot of people that I assume who are old school, basketball heads, they talk my 5 versus your 5, right? Because at the end of the game, it's going to come down to my 5 versus your 5. I'm just asking.
No, it should be my team versus your team because we got a bench too. We haven't even talked about Kevin Herter.
You don't want to talk about the Thunder bench because their bench is better than y'all too, in my opinion. But I'm just saying
because Malik is on our bench, bro.
And I also want to say Isaiah Hartenstein is literally what y'all needed. Like he is literally what y'all needed as a starting 5. And by the way, people don't really realize Isaiah Hartenstein can shoot. Do people not realize
he got a left hand floater? I like that.
No. He can launch from 3, bro. I watched this guy in G League. He can shoot.
Why do we care about? I know we play in a different game, but why do we care about big men?
It's no way you're trying to compare.
It's extra utility.
Okay, now the extra part I can get with that.
It's not extra utility,
but I feel like that's something that people bring up as a point of emphasis. Like
it is a major point of emphasis.
Why does my 5-man have to stretch the defense that far? I got plenty of other dudes who do that.
It depends on what type of offense you're running too. Like you don't have to be a shooter. What I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not going to sit here and listen to you compare Isaiah Hartenstein and Domantas Sabonis like Isaiah is better than Domantas or anything like that.
Oh no!
First of all, our bench, that's
way
cool.
Better defender.
That's cool. That's not the conversation. The conversation is who's a better basketball player, and Domantas Sabonis clears Isaiah Hartenstein. With all due respect to Isaiah, because I love Isaiah. I wish we would have got Isaiah. I wanted Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's not
being disrespectful.
The point is that our team. I believe our team is better than their team. I'm not sold on Alex Caruso disturbing our squad. I love J-Dub, but I'm like, if we're talking about that for that, give me Malik. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Malik Monk clears everybody on that bench. He clears everybody on that bench and half the starters. So I don't really know what you're trying to do comparing the 5 and this 5. If we mesh the teams, who would start? Okay. That's irrelevant.
I just want to ask, everybody, if Sacramento versus OKC is a first round series, what's your prediction for that series?
Last year I had us.
Hold on, let everybody answer. I'm
gonna just say 4-1. That's 4-1 OKC.
I'll go OKC in 5.
I think Sacramento. I think Oklahoma City beats them in 6.
That's generous.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go, Ox, I got the Kings in 6. You guys, when we look at roster construction and especially just size and everything, I think the Kings' biggest issue was size. Obviously, with Domantas Sabonis being their center, verticality and stuff like that, I don't think the Thunder really give them that. The size is comparable. Like, yeah, Morris.
You said something I didn't think you was going to say. Okay, never.
Chet is bigger than Sabonis. He's obviously a better rim protector. He's
taller.
Jumps higher. Well, yeah, he just everything. I think he's a better paint presence, but not by much. But other than that, DeMar DeRozan can deal with J-Dub. Keegan Murray can deal with J-Dub. J-Dub is their second biggest player. And then outside of that, he's look at their starting lineup. J-Dub is their second biggest player.
Basketball. What does height have to do with this?
Everything.
Who would start if we melted teams together? Got to do with anything?
Well, wait a minute. Height has a lot to do with it.
It makes a point to clarify your window on how good you're rating these guys. Like, I don't know, like you're telling me DeMar DeRozan's like this great player, top 25. I don't know if you said top 25, but some people saying in the chat top 25. I'm just saying he's not starting over J-Dub. I don't know a coach in the league that's starting DeMar DeRozan over J-Dub, and I like DeMar. Shea, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just underrate all these guys. Alex Caruso would 100%. If you had just imported Alex Caruso,
I think you're underrating the Kings.
I think you're underrating the Kings.
From what aspect? Are we talking about a rotation? Are we talking about rotation guys or starting 5? Or are we talking about overall?
Ben just said we're underrating J-Dub. He just said we're underrating all these guys on OKC. Caruso, we're heavily underrating Keegan Murray. Heavily underrating the value that Malik Monk will come off the bench and finish the game and scoring, leading the game and scoring.
Okay,
with Shea on the floor.
Hold on.
On any given night. On any given night.
Who's the taller team?
Hold up right quick.
Who's the taller team? Who's the taller team? Everyone's saying height matters. Height matters. Okay, chat, chill. Who's the taller team? Bust out the calculator. Put 6'6" point guard. Yo, okay. If height matters, OKC is literally the tallest team in the league. What are we talking about here?
They're not the tallest
team in the league. I don't know. They're
absolutely not the tallest team in the league.
Absolutely the tallest team in the league.
No, they're not. In terms of players they play,
in terms of average height, what is the tallest starting lineup in the league?
In terms of players that play, and I was specifically talking about the starting lineup and who they play.
Right.
At the 4, it's clearly known at the 4, OKC does not put a lot of size out there. J-Dub starts at the 4. What I'm trying to say is, so essentially,
they're starting 2 7-footers now.
Do we know if Isaiah Hartenstein starting?
You're not paying someone $1 million to come off the bench. He's starting.
He might, but I don't think he will.
I don't think he's gonna start.
I don't think it makes a difference. He's gonna play enough minutes, like starting off the bench.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about the starting lineup thing. That shit is so irrelevant to me. It's so irrelevant. Like who the first 5 to be on the floor when the ball goes in the air. It means so much little less than what y'all think it means. Like in general, I'm not talking about just you and Joe. I'm saying, but the starters mean really not that much, bro. Like
yes, they do.
This is
not. They don't.
There's
nothing biased about this. It's that the only thing
that biased. I'm not saying that.
No, it's not biased. I'm saying this. There's 5 guys, but there's another 4 or 5 guys off the bench that are gonna play.
Right.
And those minutes are gonna matter just as much. Every minute in basketball is the same to me. Like they all matter the same. Well, it doesn't matter who starts the game because Malik doesn't start for us. You know what I'm saying?
No, he doesn't.
Trey Lyles does not start for us.
Right.
Keon Ellis does not start for us. And these guys come when that second unit comes into the basketball game for us, it changes everything. Our second unit is a top 5 bench squad in the league, bro. Sure. And I don't understand how we can overlook that. I'm not overlooked that. We have it like Penny's talking about all these players, but we're not talking about. And I don't want to keep talking about against the Thunder. I'm going to talk about the whole thing. Like, but we are the way we play is not predicated on who starts the game. When our second unit comes into the game, bro, it turns up everything. Trey Lyles has not been talked about. And like I said, with all due respect to Chet, if that's the starting lineup, Isaiah and Chet. DeMontis and Keegan are fucking them up. Excuse my language, Ron. I'm sorry. But that is not going to be what y'all think it's going to be. Keegan is going to be blowing Chet's head off.